You're listening to the My Simplified Life podcast, and this is episode number 25. Welcome to the My Simplified Life podcast, a place where you will learn that your past and even your present don't define your future. Regardless of what stage of life you're in, I want you to feel inspired and encouraged to pursue your dreams, simplify your life, and start taking action today. I'm your host, Michelle Glogovac, and I'm excited to share my stories and life lessons with you while taking you on my own journey. This is My Simplified Life. Hey friends, welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Michelle Glogovac, and today we are going to be talking about a couple of things that are truly affecting our world right now with the coronavirus being spread and causing lives to change drastically. We are seeing people telecommuting like never before. Children aren't able to attend schools, and shelves are empty of toilet paper, water, and everything else. I had planned on doing an episode about starting an online business and one on working from home with your partner, but I've decided to combine the two because they are so relevant right now. I've seen post after post online of people asking for suggestions on what to do with your children now that they're home. How do you manage working and having kids? How do you work from home and have your spouse or partner work from home at the same time? Is this the time to start thinking about having an online business? And if so, what can I do? Well, first, let's tackle the fact that now you're working from home, your partner is working from home, and you've got the kids at home. It's a full house, and it's not like a weekend where you have activities, are going to places, and no one is worrying about work. No, you need to entertain your kids, educate them since schooling is now online and up to you, continue doing your job, manage having a workspace at home where you probably weren't set up before, and not only do you need a space for yourself, but so does your partner. I know this sounds absolutely overwhelming, and it is. It's stressful. This is a hell of a lot of change in a small amount of time, but I want to assure you that it can be done. We do this in my house every single day, and not because of a pandemic. This is simply our life. I'll start with our setup. I work downstairs, and my husband works in a bedroom/office upstairs. We trade off the kids throughout the day because we check in with each other on who has a conference call when, and we ensure someone is entertaining the kids, at least shushing them if necessary. No, it doesn't always go this perfectly, and sometimes, like yesterday, we had overlapping calls. Our kids are 5 and a few days shy from 4, so they're old enough to understand what it means when we're on the phone and that they can't be yelling or screaming, but let's be honest, it still happens. If our calls are going to be long, then yes, we use Kindles or a movie to babysit the kids. It's not going to harm them for this to happen when we need it. They also have free reign of the family room. They've got all of their books, their toys, their Legos. Trust me, they have a great setup. Now, my business allows me flexibility because I work for myself. So I do tend to care for the kids more as a stay-at-home mom would, but with my work added in when it can. I get up at 5 a.m. and try to get the big stuff done while everyone's still sleeping. That is how my routine looks. No day is the same, and we mix in client calls with client work, playtime, outside time, and play dates. It is not perfect. It can be messy, but it's working for us. I think one of the big hurdles a lot of couples will have during this time is being together 24/7. Yes, you love your partner. You chose each other, but did you really intend to spend 24 hours a day with them? Probably not. And that is okay. Ted and I have actually worked from home together for over 5 years now. He does travel, so we've got some gaps, but we are together for the good part of 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and probably close to 300 days a year. How do we do that without not wanting to kill each other? I know. I think that one of the biggest things for us is communication. And the fact that we not only love each other, but we also really like each other. We are friends above all else, and for almost 13 years have had a big focus on communication. If you're finding yourself at home trying to work while your partner is doing the same, and whether or not you have kids, you need to be sure to openly communicate with each other. Discuss what your working hours are going to be. Who will take responsibility for things around the house? Who will make breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Will you eat together? When will you have devoted working time where you can't be interrupted? Do you need to have dedicated time where you want to grab a coffee and chat together? Use this as an opportunity to connect with each other more. So often we leave early for work and come home late in the evening, and it really doesn't allow for much time to talk about what's gone on in our day, what things are like at work, how you're feeling. So take this extra time where you aren't commuting and you have the ability to sit down for literally 3 meals a day together and truly communicate with each other. When it comes to your kids, it'll take some adjusting as well. Some of you are now having to homeschool with online courses, and others of you now have preschoolers and younger at home with you. The change in our household is that we aren't going to play dates right now, which means they aren't going to see their friends, and our monthly craft club and book club events aren't going to happen. I have found some great websites that offer craft ideas and learning lessons. We also have preschool and kindergarten learning books that we use and will be using even more so. This week, we're going to snip and glue a shamrock, color by shape, and do a rainbow marshmallow painting project. We'll also work on some of our letters. Mrs. Plemons Kindergarten and Scholastic.com both have some great learning activities, and you'll probably have most of the supplies already in your home. I'm going to put them all in the show notes for you, so head to the website so you can find these sites. But now are you saying, that's awesome, Michelle, but where do we find the time? Well, as I mentioned, I'm up at 5 a.m. to work. That's not changing for me. But when we would have our regular playdates at 9 or 10, we'll be incorporating these projects instead. So you might have to wake up a bit earlier to make sure that you fit it all in. But it's just a sacrifice of an hour or so, and it's going to work for you, I promise. Now, we already eat our meals together every day, and it's nothing fancy. Our lunches are sandwiches, lunch meat, cheese, crackers, and fruit. And every afternoon, we play outside and take walks around the block. I work in between these times, and I'll even take my work outside with me. It's not rare to see my kids riding their bikes at the end of our court and seeing me in a camping chair on our driveway with my laptop out. This is how we make it work and how we'll continue to make it work during this time of social distancing and doing our best to keep ourselves and others healthy. One of the big changes we are seeing right now is that companies are wanting employees to telecommute. I love this. You're going to find that you don't need as much time to get your job done because you aren't commuting, and you might even have less distractions, even with the kids around. But what happens when regular life kicks back in and you want to keep working from home? What happens if people have suffered from layoffs because of what has happened to our economy? I think now is the perfect time to start thinking about an online business and if it's right for you. There are so many things you can do online that will enable you to work for yourself and have the kind of freedom you want when it comes to working from home and doing more of what you want to do. But where do you start? How do you find out what's right for you? It might not be obvious, and you might want to pivot a bit along the way, but doing some research on what you can do, writing down what you can do and what you want to do, and then maybe even taking a course on it can definitely help you get started. I suggest you start by writing down what you enjoy doing in your current job. Is there a way you can take those things and turn them into your actual job? Kelsey Murphy has a great free download called the 30-Day Passion Planner. I'll link to it in the show notes, but she takes you through a series of questions and initiates your thoughts around discovering what your true passion is. And from there, you can work on a business that allows you to put that passion into action. Maybe you love podcasts and want to become a podcast manager or even a producer like I am. Well, what goes into that? You can offer to edit podcast episodes, upload them so that they're heard on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, research and book guests, write show notes, create graphics. A lot goes into creating a podcast. And many hosts want to outsource everything they can. A great course on becoming a podcast manager is Lauren Wrighton's Podcast Manager Jumpstart course. This course is $397 and will be going up soon, but it is jam-packed with info on how to edit podcasts, how to price your services, and much more. But maybe you love project management and organizing things. Have you thought about becoming a director of operations? Natalie Gingrich of the Ops Authority has a certification program for becoming a director of ops. This is one thing you have to apply for in order to take, but she's amazing and such a wealth of knowledge. I'm about to launch a podcast pitching mastermind course, which will teach you what it takes to pitch someone to be on a podcast. It'll be an intensive 8-week course with one-on-ones with me, group calls, homework, and at the end of it all, you'll have a pitch email, pitch kit, already have researched podcasts and sent out your pitch. I've also started offering business strategy sessions, which you can find under the shop section of my website. And if there's something about podcasting that you'd like to hear about, let me know, and I'll create a download for everyone. You can absolutely find a way to have an online business and make a living. It will take time and effort on your part, but I believe it is absolutely worth it. I know these times are challenging for each and every one of us, but I also want you to look at this as an opportunity for you to see what else is out there for you. If you find yourself with some downtime, brainstorm and research on the things you could do and what you want to do. Enjoy the extra time with your kids because they are growing up really fast and our world is filled with too much chaos right now. Pop some popcorn, watch Frozen 2 again, and take advantage of maybe even taking a nap. For us over here, it's business as usual, but even with an online business, I'm feeling the pains of what is going on and I have been affected. But I'm going to utilize any extra time I might find to work on creating content for you all and doing more podcast interviews. Remember, we are all in this boat together, and I am here if you want to talk, strategize, or bounce ideas off of. This seems like a scary time, and in many ways it is, but can also be seen as an exciting time, one filled with new opportunities, one to spend more quality time with your family, and one for more self-discovery. I hope you've gotten some tips on how to survive at home with a full house and are feeling energized about the possibility of creating a business for yourself. Keep up the hope and know that you are not alone during this time or any other time. We are in charge of what happens in the future, so let's band together from a distance and make the lives of our families and ourselves great ones. Stay healthy and do your best to enjoy this extra family time that we now all have. Until next week, my friends.